Hi everyone, this is Mr. West. Today we're doing a math drills worksheet called Evaluating Algebraic Expressions. Of course, this is found on mathdrills.com. Make sure to check it out in the description below. I'll leave a little link for you so you can click on it and follow along. The main principle of this is we have all these variables here that you see, and it's called an algebraic expression. It's an expression because it doesn't have an equal sign in the problem itself, and we're going to evaluate, not solve. Solving is for equations, not for expressions. One of the main things you'll need to know is we have variables because it takes the place of a question mark or a blank, okay? And it's a lot easier because otherwise we'll have too many blanks and question marks and we won't know which one belongs with which. The other thing we need to know is if you have a number next to a letter, it means multiplication. So if we had, for example, y equals 4, this would eventually become 3 times 4, not 34. That's a common misconception. With these two principles in hand, we're going to go ahead and start. It's not that bad. There's basically a two-step process to do all this. Rewrite, number 1, and evaluate, number 2. That means just solve it, not solve it. Sorry, shouldn't have said that. I mean answer it. Okay, so m equals 1. I'm going to underline this in blue, and then I'll underline this in purple. We have m plus 5q. By itself, it doesn't mean a whole lot. But if we replace the values, okay, so I'm going to add a plus and a 5 here, and instead of writing m, I'm going to write the value of m, which we know is 1. It tells us it's 1. This is the part of the problem. This is a scenario it gives us. So it's times, of course, 5 times q, and we're told that it's equal to 5. So we have the problem 1 plus 5 times 5. Now, this is great. You've seen problems like this before. These types of problems, I don't know why I keep changing colors so often. These types of problems are essentially order of operations problems that you've seen. And we're not solving them again, we're evaluating. We're trying to find the answer. So we have multiplication first, that's 25. We do that first, and then we add the 1, and we get 1 plus 25 is 26. Now, my preferred method is do this in a vertical fashion. So 1 plus 5 times 5. I would go like this, and I think vertically is a lot more organized. Okay, this gets a little sloppy. I see equal signs everywhere on my students' papers when that happens. And yeah, it's just better when you go up to down. Okay, number 2 is probably the hardest one on here. We have a cubed exponent, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and write this in. And it's the same process. Step 1 is rewrite. So I'm going to say x is 1. I'm going to put a 1 there. Y is 3. I'll make that purple. That goes there. And then I evaluate. So I'm going to move this guy over. Okay, I'm going to say you go over here, please. And we're going to evaluate from here. We're going to answer it. So it's a couple-step process. Once we rewrite the problem, it's pretty simple from here. We just answer it. Evaluate is what I say. 3 minus 2 is 2. And now we're going to cube it. A lot of my students were cubing this. That's not what we do. Okay, because inside the parentheses is first, and then it's exponents. Okay, so you got to do inside the parentheses first. We have a problem here, 3 minus 1. We're going to start there. Then we have 2 to the third power. We can essentially just write that as 2 to the third power like that. And 2 to the third power is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. That is going to be our answer for that one. Let's jump around a little bit. I'm going to go to a division one next. And let's change the color scheme a little bit. Let's go pink. We have y equals 6. So I'm going to say 6 is y. And then z is also equal to 6. So one thing we know is z and y are the same thing. So I'm going to write 6 here. And then I'm going to, wow, we have lots of 6's in this problem. And then divide by 6. So I know that 6 plus 6, we're going to do inside the parentheses first. When I solve this, I'll solve in orange. So I have 12. And then I still have to divide. I'm going to leave that in parentheses, but it doesn't matter. Because now I just divide. I did parentheses first. Now it's multiplication, division. Division is next. And that is 12 divided by 6. And that is equal to 2. And I'm going to write that below. I already said we should go vertical. So let's go vertical. And that's our problem. Nice little pyramid design. That's the way we draw it up. Okay, this is a good one because we have a letter right outside of a parenthesis. I'm going to do one more with a different color scheme, and then I'm going to just switch to all the same color because hopefully you guys are catching on. So h equals 3. I'm going to put 3 here. Now, we're going to replace anywhere we see an h, okay? Every single one. It's not just one place, every place. So here's an h. Here's an h. We're going to replace both of those with 3s. And then we're going to put anywhere we see a j, we're going to put a 6. Okay, so I'm sorry, I should have put parentheses first. I'm sure this looks a little confusing to you. Like that. Okay, so anywhere we saw a J, we put a 6, and anywhere we saw an H, we put a 3, and this is the result. We have 3 parentheses, 6 minus 3. And the way you say that actually is 3 times the quantity 6 minus 3. That's how you say it. Anytime you have a number just outside parentheses like that, it means multiplication. Even if it was like a variable, it means multiplication. So something right outside the parentheses, no addition, subtraction, division, whatever, it means multiplication. So now we're going to, I almost said solve. We're going to evaluate it from here. There's no equal sign, can't solve it. So we have 3 inside the parentheses. We still have to multiply by this 3 outside, but we get 3 times 3. Survey says that is equal to 9. Too many color changes here. Let's go all one color from here on out. Okay, I'm going to do another one I'm guessing students are going to mess up, and that is surprisingly this one right here, second from the bottom. Again, anywhere I see an M, I'm going to write a 5. So I have 5 here. I'm going to just kind of fill in the different signs. Okay, and then I have another 5 here. Okay, and then this N, okay, so I could underline this. Let's say you have a pencil, you can't change colors like I can. Underline it, and then I'll put underlined here, 5, 5. This guy squiggly, double squiggly, and that is 1. So I have, instead of writing M minus N plus M, I write 5 minus 1 plus 5, okay, because I just replaced the values. Pretty simple. That's the rewrite. That's the first step in the process. Let me just move this over, okay, move it over here. All right, next up. This is where I see a lot of mistakes. It's not addition first. So some students would be like, okay, 1 plus 5 is 6. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. We just introduced negatives in my class. Some minds were blown, but that's not the correct way to do it. How you do it is if it's addition and subtraction, you just do it in the correct order, which is left to right. Okay, you can just go left to right. So we do 5 minus 1. That's the first step. That's 4. Then we add 5. And we get 9. Big difference from negative 1. Okay, so huge difference. Now, another way to consider it, and just ignore this if this confuses you, is I like to think of this as a positive 5 minus 1, positive 5. Think of these as 3 separate things. Positive 5, minus 1, negative 1, and then positive 5. Well, these two go together. They're positives. And then we have this minus over here. What happens? This is positive 10. This is negative 1. Okay? 10 and a negative 1 combined to positive 9, or 10 minus 1 is positive 9. That's another way to think of it. Hopefully, this was a helpful video for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to watch more. Maybe click the subscribe button. That's the first time I've said that in ages. And make sure to check out more videos right here on Wes Explains Best when I release them. Thanks for watching.